Now, now he's crazy. Yeah, big wild Johnny is crazy because he does drugs and he's a Hollywood actor. I know, them Holly weirds, Holly weirdos. Oi. I do get that there's this, for some reason, there's this disdain that people have towards Hollywood actors. I can really just accredit it to just, a sense of inferiority. Feeling inferior to these people. You have to knock them. So like, whatever. If you want to do that, go ahead. But you have to understand, this dude's from Kentucky. And he's the coolest and just mellowest guy you're gonna find in this business. And in fact, this is why he made the choices that he made. So I really don't. In this case, you have someone who's this way, and people are responding to it. The way, for instance, the security. Not security. The sheriff. The sheriffs that are standing, they're guarding the courtroom. The door, for instance. They respond very well to him because, again, that's just what you get. This is what you've been getting from the guy for how many years, decades. So to try to now they're gonna try to make him be crazy. Now he's hearing things, but I'm listening to the to what's her name's testimony, and I can my gut, my stomach is burning up in ulcers. Actually, where's some wood? Anyway, there's no wood. I'll just make believe that I'm touching the courtroom's benches there, and that's wood. Dude, it's just, oh my lord. There has to be repercussions to the person who is making up all this shit. And I get it, I think that now the judge is probably just amused, kind of going, okay, keep incriminating yourself. Because it's just, we live in a society where anybody can just make up a lie about you and keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until this person starts to gain some traction and some fans and some sympathizers, and then all of a sudden you got a group of people, standing outside your home, or affecting your work life and your professional life, your family life, So in essence, what I'm saying is that she has to be punished for making up all these lies. I mean, not only that she has to repay everything, in terms of financial losses, but like all of these people that had to travel to Virginia to testify, again, is all this trouble over one person's inability to take responsibility for the damage they have caused. That in fact, now that they find themselves facing the music, well, it was them. Now, the people who threw the punches, the person who threw the punches, who did the abuse, who did the mental, emotional, verbal, physical abuse, the people who drew blood, the people who actually severed body parts, they're saying, oh, he did that to himself because he's crazy. He's putting out cigarettes on himself. When she was the one doing it on him. It's so evil. I was to try to stay positive, because again, I do want this channel to be somehow positive. There's gotta be like I always try to find the silver lining in things, So to try to, and by the way, take this as also as a suggestion for you to raise your vibration or the way you feel, because the way you feel is everything. Whenever you feel like your mood is starting to, plummet, rise yourself with some comedy if you're into stand-up comedy or any kind of comedy. Just laugh. Get that, get that anger out of you, or get that energy out of you, and replace it with something more positive. Raise your vibration. Anywho, so I'm listening to Christopher Titus, and he's a hilarious dude. Check him out, Christopher Titus. His comedy, he's got so many. I'm finding out that he's got several comedy specials. If you want to not just escape the pressures of life, but to diminish their power on you. Raise your vibration, and these are some of the ways that you can do it. Like I said, I'm not gonna give you the links and anything. You have to put some work into it. So as I make the suggestions, jot them down, and go and find out about these things. So comedy, make yourself laugh, raise your vibration. So I'm listening to the guy, and he's talking, about his kids and wife, obviously, like a lot of comedians do these days, and personal experiences, So, and then I hear the next special, and he's talking about his wife two-timing him, and now they're divorcing, but she is claiming that he has abused her and the kids. And I think he's Irish, so there's got all this stigma and shit like that. Me as a Mexican man, I carry that stigma. Mexican men are whatever, too much. They're macho, so they have to abuse everybody around them and things like that. And it's the tool of the simple-minded to use generalizations and just qualify someone as such because they belong to a particular group or they look a certain way or whatever. It's so idiotic that, I get this all the time. I get these people who take a look at me and they see, well, whatever they see something negative, and they start clutching their purses and they start getting all antsy, and it's like, this is what Albert Hitchcock used to speak about. This is why his movies are, they scare you, because we scare ourselves. Here we are in a panic, and the person next to you just looking at you like, what is wrong with you? Because honestly, and I know exactly what it is, because this is the reaction that I get from people. It's just scary men coming, and it's like you're having the emotional turmoil within you, and this is why reality, as it is not. It's always subjective. It's not general. It's not for everybody. We not live in the same reality. There are people who are literally right now having a panic attack or having a storm of emotions. While the person next to them and just again looking at them like, I don't understand. But it's annoying when you see somebody just lose it like that. Because they have their own ideas happening in their heads. And like I explained to you, these kinds of people, they tend to create these nightmares in their own heads. But now she wants to turn around and say that it was Johnny who was doing that. Again, these are the kind of people that drive you crazy with their imaginings. And they come to you with their worries, and they're upset, and they're anxious, and you're cheating, and you're this and this and that, and it's like, it's just what's in their heads. Again, like I said in my last video, you're not a light sleeper. You're not a light sleeper. You have shit that is keeping you up. You have shit in your mind that's keeping you up that you haven't paid for. You probably owe somebody something. Like my abuelita used to say, you owe somebody something. That's why you can't sleep. Light sleeper, my ass. Perfect example. And I'm always going to give you guys pieces from me, from movies and music, because, I was raised on the radio, So, and Saving Private Ryan, you have that scene with the sniper that always says a prayer before he takes a shot. He has time to say, he commends his soul to the highest spirit, and he's praying and he prays, and he does his job because he sees himself as an instrument, So basically, he's serving his purpose. He goes to sleep. He's out. That's a calm consciousness. He doesn't know anything. The other guys, they're smoking cigarettes because they can't go to sleep because they feel guilty of what they've done. Unfortunately, that's the job of a soldier, and these are the heavy are these loads, that these warriors have to carry, because the sense of duty that they have within them, unfortunately, when you have to defend those who you care for, sometimes you have to hurt others, So, but I'm not justifying any kind of violence again, or anything like that. It's just like when you force yourself to play defense, you have to, unfortunately, basically, like, I heard a man speak, very well-spoken man, very well, he's a smart man. I forgot his name. He's a professor, and he gives lectures, but he spoke about growing teeth, in claws, because otherwise you get trampled by the masses of vicious people that are in the world, So you do have to defend yourself, and you have in these, for instance, in these cases, you have Johnny trying to defend himself at a certain point. Now he's whipping out the camera to record things, and she's, you get in trouble with me when you do things like this, and Johnny's literally saying, excuse me, you're not a teacher. You're not the teacher here. You don't run the rules. Stop speaking like you have some kind of authority over everything. This is how these people, you get in trouble with me when you do such things. This is the type of grandiosity, type of thinking that they're operating with. It's just that brings me also to another point. This last shooting that happened. We are living in a society where there's just people who have no sense of accountability or responsibility. And this brings me out to the subject, because it always comes up every time this kind of situation comes up. Because to me, it's just, these are the makings of just bratty people who have absolutely no sense of what repercussions are. They've never been, say, don't do that, sorry. They've never been slapped in the hand, say, don't fucking do that. Why? Because you're hurting other people when you do something like that. Situations that, where people are storming the Capitol and things like that. These are the actions of bratty people who have absolutely no sense of repercussions. People who have no sense of responsibility either, but to themselves and what they want. And if they don't get their way, they just kind of throw a tantrum, and it's that of destroying things and hurting people. This is what this freaking kid did. And these were babies. These were babies. It makes no sense, but he was angry because he didn't graduate. I mean, this goes beyond being a coward. I mean, in my block where I grew up, we would have gotten that hold of this kid and, just beaten that living crap out of him for being such a pussy. Excuse me, I'm not, this is, again, I'm trying to make this as as elevated as possible, but even Jesus whooped some ass. He had to whoop some ass because people just are disrespectful AF. Honestly. In this case, you have somebody just completely running their mouth and just, it's like, I don't care. I'm in trouble and I'm not going to be the one going down. And this is literally what they're doing. And to take all this time, right now, half of the world is having not only PTSD, but also they're having, ulcers because of all the... So my stomach hurts when I watch this woman. And that, another thing, she doesn't speak like somebody with PTSD, somebody who has been abused. That's not the attitude of somebody who's been abused. Is Tina Turner... Somebody asked Tina Turner how it feels. She'll tell you. I love you, Tina, wherever you are. But, oh God, having a sad realization. Anyway, but there's so many places we can go with this. Again, all I'm trying to find is a good thing out of this, And again, I keep going back to people exercising their sense of, intuition. They can tell. Everybody can, we got to a point in our journey as a kind, as humankind, where these things may end up becoming obsolete. Lying, because it's so obvious now to most of us, which brings me to the conclusion that this whole woke thing, I mean, that is also one of the dumbest and most ludicrous things that I ever heard. People be knocking people for being smart, and this whole woke thing is just absolutely ridiculous. It's just the people are knocking waking up. So, right away they tell you which side of the coin they're in. Those ones who are dragging evolution. That's just as simple as it gets. This is as simple as they get. So now we're gonna have all these politicians, doing this to each other, saying, "Oh, this is horrible, they should be stopped," and the other people are saying, "Yeah, but this and that," and they'll never get anything done. But to the rest of us, it's looking like, well, this is a bunch of bullshit, right? Because again, we've come to this age and our level of evolution that this is becoming obsolete. It doesn't fly anymore. So what do we do now? Well, we can't get negative and start a fucking revolution because, that's basically what everybody's expecting, and that's exactly what the establishment has said that we would do as a race. Yeah, those are the levels that I'm thinking of things, because how does this affect the whole human race? So here we have literally the descendants of Cain, people who are jealous of their brother. Here we have a wife who's jealous of her husband. And look at the shit that she's caused, and all of this pain and suffering, and all of this confusion, because she doesn't want to pay for the damage she's caused. Right now, everybody in my side, in my situation, everybody thinks I'm the bad guy because I took a stand against basically someone who is like Stalin. Put a name of someone who is a maniacal leader, and she belongs right there with them. Same thing as this person. I'm looking at a picture of her right now because I'm watching the testimony, but it's these people shouldn't be allowed to operate in the world. I'm not saying let's all put them up against the wall and shoot them. That's not what I'm saying. Again, nothing that I'm gonna say ever is gonna be to incite any kind of revolt or anything. It's all, you have to rise above the basic. That's how you combat. And it's not even about combating, it's just about rising high enough that this stuff don't touch you. So you have to look for that silver lining. You have to look in a higher level. Yes, you have to go higher. So in this case, what do we do? Well, now that we know that this stuff don't fly, start making these people pay. Not physically, like not with their lives, but they should not be allowed to roam around the world. Look at all the pain that they cause. Look at it honestly. One person, and we've seen other cases where one person has pretty much come to the ruin of thousands of people, billions sometimes. This is what we're dealing with. They're amongst us. They're running around free, and it's only because we can't prove, that these people are psychopaths. But there is a way. It's through our intuition. And now again, everybody is just their, red flags and alarm systems are going off, and it's like, she's friggin' lying. Everybody's yelling at the screen, and we're grabbing the popcorn like my friend David Saucedo. Hey, buddy. He grabs himself a bowl of popcorn. I'm like, make mine with Pepto because the fucking ulcers are killing me. Yes, it's entertaining, but Jesus, because I guess, again, like I said, we're starting to lose respect for the monster because the monster is becoming silly. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys about the next one, okay? In the next one, have a wonderful day.